What the hell? We might as well just jump into it, right? How are we all doing today? To answer your question, Wolf, I am doing better now that I'm at home. Yeah, they do rack up quickly, don't they, Frost? I need to. So I'm planning on taking time off in September. Exciting, I know. And that is definitely one thing I need to do. I need to try and give y'all ways to use those channel points you've gotten. Because, yeah, damn. I mean, at this point, I could basically make 100,000 channel point redeem, and one of you could probably redeem it. Congratulations on making it to Friday, everyone. We did it. Felt a little touch and go for me, but we got there in the end. We grinded it out. That Sigma grind set of ours. We got through it. Friday today was a little bit rough at work, just kind of generalized anxiety, just a general feeling of things not sitting quite right for undisclosed reasons, which is super appreciated because it's like your body's like, hey, just as a heads up, things aren't super crash hot right now. And naturally, you're like, what could I do to improve this? And your body's like, uncertain. That said, things are not great right now. And it's just a loop of that. But it's better now that I'm not at work. Need for Speed Unbound, Wolf? Because, yeah, the steering is weird. Though I will say, it gets better if you really dive deeply into that handling menu for the different cars. For me, once I decided to just abandon or like segregate drift and grip, like I have a race car and a drift car. I don't always choose the right car for events, but I've got those two, and normally that means it works a little bit better. Yeah, it definitely is a bit like Jiao.exe has been maybe not needs a restart, but I think that's like the solution to it. Jiao.exe has been open for too long, you know? You know how like you leave open a just a computer in general and it just starts chugging. Particularly a Windows computer. It's not as noticeable in like Linux or whatever. Just starts chugging and you're like, yeah, this bad boy needs to be restarted. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. I mean, it's not that deep, Wolf. It's pretty shallow, but I'd have a look around in it. Yeah, that is a game that I want to have a look at. Because I discovered the other day that I do have Need for Speed 2 and Need for Speed 3. So I do want to actually kind of go back into like the 90s and have a look at that. And I do also, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I do also want to have a look at Need for Speed Carbon. I have that. I have a disc of it. I bought it especially for this purpose. So I need to try and do that. Maybe that'll the idea of having a kind of what would it be at that point? 14, 15 month anniversary or something. That might focus my mind on doing a Need for Speed Carbon thing or something. What expensive car are you eyeing off, Frost? Just to duck back to your previous message, if you don't mind. While we're considering that, I'm just going to open up the game. How's everyone else's week's been? How is everyone who is on my side of the international dateline? How was your Friday? And everyone on the other side, how will be your Friday? Do you think? I'm looking forward to not doing like so incredibly little uh, tomorrow, like as little as humanly possible. Tired because of a long week, or just or something else? Just big day, perhaps. Ah, yes, back to the project car. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with me. It's just been work, but it is, it's been rough. Just draining, you know? That's that cyberpunk. Is it a parkour kind of game?
Press enter to press.
Because I've seen it around the place. I've never actually had a huge amount of interest in playing it myself. I don't think. I mean, it looks kind of cool, and I've always got this little bit of interest, as you may have noticed from the whole Avatar, in that kind of cyberpunk style stuff. But yeah, I've never really pulled the trigger on that one for some reason. That's on Game Pass, isn't it? Or it was. I feel like I remember it in the old Xbox app at one point. What BMW though, Frost? There are a few BMWs in the game. I'm assuming you're talking about Forza Horizon. Oh, maybe I was wrong then, Wolf. But yeah, speedrunning in any game is crazy. Like, I'm sure we've all seen that speedrun from Hitman 3 that made the rounds on the internet. Like last year, where it was the first mission, the guy gets out of the cutscene, looks up, shoots one target, looks to the right, shoots the other target, turns right around, shoots the third target, and then walks out in like 3 seconds. Oh, okay then. Well, well, well. Okay, so looks like there's some interesting races. Rare classics. What is a rare classic? Playground games? What qualifies? Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of owning that kind of car. Part of me also is like, I don't know if I can justify owning that kind of car in terms of like spending that money on it. Comrade. And then there's also the fact that for $20,000, great price, but is there a reason it's $20,000, you know? There's no rare classics category, right? Oh, there is. Okay, well that makes things a bit more straightforward. We could break out the 8-liter Bentley. That could be fun. Break out the oldie Porsche. That could also be fun. What do you reckon, chat? Bentley or Porsche? I mean, the Bentley would definitely be a bit more of a... Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Did you know you could toggle that on and off, chat? Have I just not been paying attention to the UI? Like, I just haven't been paying attention to the UI then. Okay. I don't know why you'd want to toggle it off. But, I don't know, maybe. That is an incredibly heavy car, unsurprisingly. This is significantly lighter. Maybe we take this one out. Take the OG Porsche car, or one of them at least, out and see what we can do with it. Unfortunately, we can't take one of the original Porsche vehicles and drive around in like a Wehrmacht tank hunter or something like that from the Eastern Front. Just have to settle for one of their first cars, I guess. Go for like the VW Beetle rims. Oh, that's rough that they've got the name on it. That sucks. Is the Warthog? The Warthog is in this game, right? Yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot the Warthog was in this game until just then, Wolf. I mean, then again, there are so many cars in this game, it is easy to forget some. That's kind of nice. I'm looking for something that looks kind of modern, but also in keeping with the style of an older Porsche, you know? Yeah, that was great. That was a fantastic addition to that mod. Halo kart. I think, where was it? It was just back up here. I think that one's kind of in keeping with what we're going for here. Get some proper discs on this bad boy. Not that I know of. I believe that's only for the first one. Because it's a pretty big project, as you could tell. To basically reform the entire game. We could make it even lighter to 700 kilos. But what we really need to do is get some more power, baby. What engines do you get in this bad boy? None that would fit. Well, except for that one. I mean, I think we got to stick with an air-cooled engine, right? Get a performance carb on it. All of these pieces we remember from Car Mechanic Simulator. Before we go any further, let's get an actually good transmission on here. Welcome back, Frost. No, we didn't. I made sure not to. Because I figured we should try and get as many of the fellas together. To finish it off, so no one kind of misses out. So that is probably tomorrow. We're on the last day. So we just have the Grand do. So there's nothing else that we need to do, just the Grand. Oh, do you want a suitcase, chat? It is pretty tempting. I think we need to put our luggage somewhere. And we've got to strap down the bonnet. Now we're looking pretty fly for a white car. I mean, we don't have a huge amount of power, but when you consider how much we weigh, it's not bad. We've got a pretty competent power to weight ratio. Barely a difference. I mean, it's a little bit darker, but it's not as much as I would have thought. I mean, silver does seem appropriate for this car. Maybe we go for like a polished metal. Sorry, I meant brushed or semi-gloss. Steel, perhaps? I mean, that would be more appropriate, I guess. Brass could be kind of tight, though. Not chrome, not gold. Definitely not diamond plate. Wood? No, we're not a Morgan. Let's not do that. I think we do go for semi-gloss aluminium, which is probably basically what we had before. Or white. Black. Get those calipers looking fine as hell. I'll be interested to see when we do finish Need for Speed, what is after it. Like, after we finish the campaign, what happens next? Because we don't have all the cars that we could have. And there's, like, we've definitely had nowhere near enough money to buy, like, a Bugatti Chiron, for example. Need for Speed Unbound. Sheep. I mean, it's definitely grown on me, but the handling is... I've definitely been spoiled by the handling in this. In the Forza series. Yeah, that's what I reckon too. It'll just be you can continue just kind of racing and changing from day to night. The cops will probably still be around. But the story will have concluded, obviously. Okay, let's check out the gearing for this bad boy, huh? Yeah, I figured as much. Let's maybe change that a little bit. Change that a touch. Yeah, just kind of stuff that you can do if you're that way inclined. But I'm not. I think it's interesting because they very clearly segregate the online and the kind of single player campaign. It's not like Horizon where you can take the cars that you get from playing the single player online, which I think is probably not a great decision, to be honest. I mean, if you keep enjoying it, then it's not pointless, right? So, I guess it all comes down to you, right? However you see the game. I do like the graphical design has grown on me, though I am still uncertain about the division between the cars and the world and the characters. I think I would like it a lot more if it was consistently that somewhat anime cartoony style. Trying to reduce the oversteer a touch. But I mean, I've loved the Spider-Verse films graphically in terms of what they look like, so I'm not surprised that I love what, or at least I enjoy what they've tried to do with Need for Speed Unbound. I just think they could have committed to it a little bit more rather than just kept it to flourishes and the characters. I understand that there's probably a big push for like photorealism in like the cars and the world, but I think if it was more consistent, I think it would make it a much more interesting game. Because, I mean, this game looks fantastic, obviously, but it doesn't really look that much better to my eyes than Horizon 4, for example. Like, there's definitely a diminishing returns, you know? So I think if they had, you know, tried something different, I think it may have been better. I mean, I guess you're right, but it's not really different in the sense that I feel like Horizon 4 was just Horizon 3.5, right? They're all basically the 0.5 of the one before that. Certainly at launch they are. Well, they seem to be doing some... Hold on, I want festival. Seem to be doing some big kind of stuff with the new motorsport in terms of, excuse me, graphics and stuff like that, and audio too, from what I've heard. So maybe that'll be like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where the graphics suddenly leap forward and catch up. No, I mean, I'm not keen on the gameplay of it. But yeah, I mean, I was going to say something similar, Frost. The Forza Tech engine might be outdated, but it's... graphically, it still seems to be keeping up with all of its competitors. I would say that the Need for Speed is slightly prettier in some respects. I mean, the Frostbite engine does reflections really well and that kind of stuff. So in that regard, it might have it beat, but this looks better than, say, the Crew 2, for example. Now, obviously, the Crew 2 is a significantly larger proposition than this one, but even still, it just looks better. Yes, I think you're right. I think that this one, like the next one, will be exclusively for the X/S, the series, if you will. Whereas this one was still somewhat hamstrung by like the legacy hardware stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how much of it, how much of that kind of decoupling will affect things. If it will make things noticeably better, or not. I don't really know, to be honest. I think most people who care will have a next generation console. Or a current gen console, I guess, at this point. And people who don't will probably just be happy with their Xbox One. I mean, that's not surprising. That console is literally decades old, right? Wow, it is 8 years old. Goodness gracious. Nice. I got probably one of the last, like it was a launch, an original Xbox One. Came with the Kinect and everything. That my brother and I bought, and I've got that somewhere in my apartment actually, because I left it at my parents' place when I moved out, and I picked up a Xbox One X. And then when I moved out of that place, I picked up an Xbox Series X and gave that One X to my brother. Yeah, what was it? I was, I definitely pressed OK to that matchmaking, right? Yeah, I did. I can't open the menu, okay. The Transformers games, that's what it was. Hasbro was asked, like, hey, do you want to do, like, a remaster of the Transformers games? And they were like, yeah, we would love to, but Activision's lost all the code for it. And a lot of people in the comments were talking about how this is why, like, video game preservation is so important. And outside of having the old consoles, there's not really a legal way for that to happen, unfortunately, so 100% hold on to your old consoles, Shadow. Alright, let's see what we can do with this bad boy. Yeah, the game is... The manager went down the wrong way. It's hard being a gamer sometimes. Oh dear. The sacrifices we make. Yeah, apparently. Apparently I've developed a drinking problem. I can't drink properly anymore. So excited was I about retro consoles. What's a Carrera 73s? I didn't even notice that when we were loading in. Interesting. But like, you have to make up for people like myself, Shadow, whose first console was the Xbox One. So I have been thinking if it would be worthwhile to like almost do the same thing but with computers and have an old computer to be able to run games that, you know, are made for Windows Vista and back. Yeah, I thought it was a bit longer ago than that, because I remember talking about... I remember having that same kind of confusion of whether it was, oh, excuse me. Like, when the Xbox 360 stopped being current gen. Like, when do we call the Xbox 360 last gen, you know? With some friends at university back when I graduated, so... I can't believe they were released then. That's like 20... I was still at school at that point. Wow. I thought for sure they'd released after that. Things you learn, right? Go get him a solid badge. There, I'm dying. On Facebook Marketplace, there is a, I think it's a guy who seems to sell modded, last gen consoles, like 360s and PS3s and stuff. And I'm often eyeing off like a 360, a modded 360, like that could be kind of tight to have. Oh yeah, I remember the, one of my friends had an OG Xbox, and naturally, because I was like 10, that made me think he was cool as hell. Though I also remember distinctly, like everyone else did, how big the OG Xbox controllers were. Like, crazy large. Oh, sorry for the ads, chat. Yeah, there were things like that, and I think they carried over into the 360 as well, where you could play your own music and have it stop for the cutscenes, just like natively in the OS. I'll do my best, Frost, no promises though. What sold me on the Xbox One was partly Horizon 2, which was definitely a big draw card for me. Because it was... it kind of scratched that Underground 2 / Need for Speed Carbon, Need for Speed Most Wanted, open world racing itch. But also I was and am still to a little bit of a lesser extent a Microsoft fanboy in some respects. Like, I really, really liked Windows Phone. It was a great operating system, and I'm forever disappointed that it was not backed by the company as much as it was. You know, I've got a Microsoft Surface behind me, well, beside me, in my backpack. Yeah, they did. And I can't remember if the first one had it, but the second one, I remember quite clearly having a, like a, what's the word? Like an intro FMV, kind of almost advertising the festival that you were going into. Underground 2 is all-time great game. Underground 1 is fine, but just that it's the same reason why I'm not as big a fan of Most Wanted. That transition to the open world just made it so much better. Just being able to like drive from place to place, or just kind of drive around. You know, just spawn into the world and go, I'm going to go from point A to point B. And it doesn't matter where those points are because I'm going to decide. And not have to jump into a race on a specified racetrack. It's just so choice. Yeah, right. I'm also so desperately disappointed that that is not like an official soundtrack or something that I can listen to outside of YouTube. Like Snoop Dogg or whoever doesn't have that in their discography. So annoying. Because I don't particularly care for the original version. I'm here for Snoop Dogg and his Testarossa. I would pay good money for a modern remake, or modern graphical remake of Underground 2, but keeping maybe not the same cars inherently, that I'm not too fussed, but cars from that period, from the early 2000s. Make it like a early noughties, late 90s nostalgia fest, you know? Damn, son. I don't think I've seen that much money in Car Mechanic Simulator. The plan for tomorrow night is to finish off Need for Speed and then probably have a look at Off-Road Mechanic Simulator, which is from the same people but for off-road, obviously. Damn! Where are you guys getting all this money from? Yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it? You've got, what, 2 years of... No, probably closer to 3 years, because those games are always launched the year before the date, normally. But yeah, you've probably had a bit of money to kind of get some currency. Just on an unrelated note that I remembered, because I remembered I need to make sure that I've got Car Mechanic Simulator on the old Steam wishlist. Balloons Tower Defense 6 is currently free on the Epic Games Store. Like, you just add it to it and you've got it forever. So, something to keep in mind if you're looking at Balloons Tower Defense 6, because always good to add it to your library. That's kind of why I'm interested in this off-road mechanic simulator, because there seems to be some more kind of, maybe not free roam, but like free roam adjacent stuff. Look at that OG Porsche off to the chalet down in Italy or something, or a bar in the Black Forest. What am I doing? I'm going to the festival playlist. Let's have a look at this one. Modern sports cars. Don't mind if I do. So any Audi TT, your friend and mine, the Amira, the Caymans, a Supra. Yeah, it's still a really good game, particularly for just like people like me who know kind of more intellectually about cars, like what the breeds of car are and stuff like that, but don't really know how the cars work. It's a really good game for that, but it can be better.
Turn right. In 200 meters, turn right.
Just gotta hope that that's what Car Mechanic Simulator 2024 or something brings, I guess. Or failing that, the next update. You know, next expansion or whatever. Do any of the DLCs add flat engines, now that I think about it? Like a flat 4 or a flat 6? Oh yeah, I'd love to get... Like I said, that's part of the reason why I want to get it on Steam, just to get... well, I mean, I could buy it on Xbox, but you don't have the mods. But just, I would love to have like the Mazda DLC, just to get the rotary engines in there. Just so it's not the same straights or Vs. Something different. So a W would be great, a flat would be great. Even like an older, bigger inline or V would be kind of neat. What am I doing? I want filter. We want modern sports cars. So we could do an Audi TT. We could do a Z4M. That was my first car in Horizon, I should say. The first car I picked in Horizon 2, my first Horizon, was the Z4M. Let's do that. Let's do that. None of the other ones are particularly jumping out at me. Something I'm not telling you about what, Frost? Who wants to know what I'm not telling you? Also, if it's a follow-on from a previous topic, I am feeling a little bit frazzled, so I may have forgotten what that topic was. What was the PI? Yeah, flat 6. You trying to insinuate that I've got a flat ass, Frost? Is that it? Oh, there is a Porsche DLC, is there? Interesting. Gotta make it look good. Let's go for multi-piece, just to be different. Even though I don't really like the look of multi-piece. I don't like the inner rim of screws. Yeah, that kind of stuff makes me think that the next proper installment of Car Mechanic is probably a way off. If they're still releasing... We're not doing multi-piece, we're doing Specialized instead. If they're still releasing DLC for the last one, it makes me think that there's probably still a while off. Let's do that kind of Lamborghini looking one. Oh, absolutely they will. Just that it's probably not going to be like this year. It'll probably be like late last year, for example. Okay, well there you go. Maybe I'm being pessimistic. That sounds nice. Let's try and keep it naturally aspirated. I didn't change the tire compound, I don't think. Did that change too much? A little bit. Not a huge amount though. I can see that. I do just like the simple acoustic performance of a naturally aspirated engine. I know there's a certain something about the, you know, the blow off valves, but just the simplicity of a nice naturally aspirated engine, V8 or whatever. So the one thing I really don't like is a supercharger whine. I don't know why. I think it's just that because it's that continual high-pitched noise. And at least in this game, it kind of gets in the way of appreciating the engine noise a bit more. I had a feeling that might be the case. There, Shadow. Ooh, that could be interesting. Yeah, the anti-lag or whatever it is. Like, there's definitely, excuse me, definitely reasons that are like that make it cool. 100%. But for whatever reason, it's just not doesn't vibe with me for some reason. Oh, the highlight. Why is the highlight the darker color? That seems a bit whack, huh? Oh, it's a really small patch. I guess that's the flaming surface, right? That's what this was originally called by Watsy Bangle. Flaming surface. To yellow? This is a hard paint to kind of use properly. Doesn't help that I've got the kind of blue-white filter on my screen. But, you know, that's just because we like to play it a bit hardball over here. I think that'll do. I think that kind of keeps with Mr. Bangle's idea of a flaming surface. Gotta get those lime green brake calipers. I wish I had a cat in front of me right now. I would probably murder to have a cat on my lap. Just don't have anywhere to put the old litter box for the cat. Devoto! What are you doing in here? How you doing? How was your camping trip? While we wait for that to load up. Well, I'm glad you're watching my Forza, Devoto. Welcome on in. Give Zav a follow if you haven't already, chat. They are a fantastic French streamer. Don't hold that against them. They do a lot of VR chat stuff, and sometimes they do some Horizon stuff too. Oh, sorry, they're not French. My mistake. And it's also Zavoto, not Zavato. So don't ever say Zavato. Germanics. Ah. No, not share code. Description. See, he's even got they've even got a emote for it because it's so irregular that it happens to them. A fellow Deutsch. Well, aside from misnationalitying you, welcome on in, Zav. It's always a pleasure to have you in here. I reckon this might actually be appropriate. Can't speak Russian or can't speak German, or both. I don't know if that works, actually. Because I feel like it should be more towards the front of the nose. So having it that far back just seems a bit weird. And it can't be more towards the front of the nose because there's a tire in the way. Put a Porsche sticker on the side. Might be useful. I used to have Forza Horizon 3 still installed. I can install it on my PC. I should do that at some point. Have a rip around the Australian countryside again. For old time's sake. But I didn't enjoy Horizon 3 as much as the other ones, and I think that's partly down to the fact that it was just a little less exotic, basically. And while it was lovely to have, like, you know, your country represented in Forza, I also played the game more for, like, sightseeing as well. I think that is better than this. So you will die now. Maybe we'll go for some M color stripes. Oh, perfectly nailed that. Right on the number. Fortunately, this isn't, like, centered for some reason. If you look at the different digits we've got going on. We're just gonna have to eyeball this one. Come on. Nice colors, yeah. I was just thinking, I don't quite know how they got the M colors. Because there's no, like, red in the BMW badge. Oh, I should be copying. That would be sensible. More options. Yeah. It's rough out here trying to get things lined up. Like, what are you doing over there, buddy? That's pretty close. Close enough. You can't tell visually that it's not lined up, and that's good enough for this guy. Oh yeah, when there's like so many ripples or whatever in the surface. I guess at least at that point you can kind of, well, unless you're like really trying to nail it, you can kind of just like hide the issues just from all the folds in the metal. We gotta flip this over here too. Now that is a proper M car right there. Excuse me. Let us just not do that. We want to go here. Then go here. That's where we use backspace. Germany. Gotta get a Deutsch. Okay, maybe not that large. We want to see people directly behind us. I would like them to know that we're from Germany, but not like on the other side of the country. Lovely. And of course, because I also saw that in there, like any good German with a performance car, or just anyone with a performance car, we need to let people know that we have been to the Nürburgring. Beautiful. What a specimen. Okay, now we can finally race the AI after all of that work. Festivale.
Turn around.
Thank you, Sergeant, for the call to action. Get out of the way. Oh, hell yeah, listen to that straight six. That's the good stuff right there. I really like this generation, I think, of Z4. Don't know why, especially, but I did, or do. Maybe it is the associations of having used this as my first car in a Horizon 2 and all those good memories that came from it.
arrive at your
The
destination.
handling is a little bit to be desired. Oh, I didn't put race transmission in there. Okay, well, just learn to live with that, I guess. Probably should have, but we're at A800 as it is, so I don't think there's much we can do about it. And then the rear stiffness, a couple of notches. And we didn't do a diff either, because, well, we're just kind of playing it fast and loose right now, apparently. I didn't realize that at the time, but subconsciously, I was playing it fast and loose. Because I'm the bad boy of Forza Horizon tuning. You might not know that, but, you know, statement of fact. What other cars could I have used? Yeah, basically all of them. RX-8, such a nice car. I don't like it as much as I used to when I was like 12, but definitely still a vibe, that car. There's something just inherently cool about the fact that it's got suicide doors. That would probably explain why there's such a large gap between gear changes, because we've got the stock gearbox in here. It definitely feels like there's a clutch being involved, but I don't think there is in this car. Sorry, buddy. Also, this is so much easier tonight that I'm not using the steering wheel. It's crazy how using the kind of input that this was probably designed for makes it just easier. Then again, I do like that kind of somewhat old-fashioned large gear change. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. You're 100% correct. It is a lot brighter at night in Mexico than it is over here. I didn't even know you could have a street scene race during the day. I thought it was like... Oh, speaking of Shadow. Me and my Z4M being chased by Shadow Fox. Good, let's try and stay on the road. Still, it is a nice choice of car. Generally hard to go wrong with a Honda. There comes everyone else. Gotta get that VTEC. I can still feel like that Mountain Dew just sitting in my lungs a little bit. I'm gonna get dew lung.
Turn left.
Might just pop into my house over here See if we can't have a look at getting a gearbox and or a diff. Nice. I suppose it's not surprising given the kind of gestures at everything economic climate. I haven't really seen that many Nissan Zs, like the new ones, around. Beans. Could just go for sports transmission to unlock the final drive. That might be enough. Oh, really? Interesting. They do sell it here, or at least it's listed as being sold here in the magazines. Whether there are... whether there's like a huge waiting list or something, I can't say. But in theory, they sell it here. I just don't know if it's really the climate for that kind of car. I think everyone's counting their pennies, you know?
Turn left.
There we go, that's better. Interesting. I think you could still buy the R35 until recently. I don't know if you still can or not. That is definitely kind of the modern everyman supercar that you could drive to the shops if you wanted to. There's one that drives along the main road near me. So I'll see one maybe once or twice a month if I'm lucky. The old midlife crisis car, huh? It is a real shame that the nice cars take that long to acquire. Or it takes that long until you can, like, have that much money. I did say nice cars, Shadow, but I appreciate your point in trying to make. The Oreo Alpine? Huh? Like everyone in an online lobby, I'll go a little bit wide in that corner. I have definitely seen two Hummer limos recently, which is basically the only time I see them these days. I mean, speaking of cars like that, I was driving next to an enormous Chevrolet Silverado on the way home. The tray of it was basically as tall as the Toyota Yaris next to it. It seemed incredibly impractical. Well, what was cooler to me was on the same trip home I saw a GR Yaris, and that is a very nice car. Nice wide hips on the rear of it, and just a real kind of presence on the road. I saw on TikTok, I don't know, I couldn't remember where the story comes from, but it was like a legitimate article that some mob in Australia has gotten 760 horsepower out of the GI Yaris's turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Wild. Like, that amount of power is just enormous. For 3 cylinders, like it's what, a 2-liter 3-cylinder engine? Damn. More than 200 horsepower a cylinder. Just boggles the mind.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
I mean, I know it's a Toyota, but you probably don't want to run it at 760 horsepower for too long. Oh, it is a manual. There you go. I did not expect that.
In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
I just saw my character move their hand to change gear. Bring that back just a skosh. Well, it's an all-wheel drive, the GI Yaris. I don't know if it's always all-wheel drive, but it is at least partially all-wheel drive. No, I mean, fair enough. Dark Frost just driving by, shouting BMW M4 as he pops into the chat. Just attaches a note to a brick that says BMW M4 before throwing it through the window. I mean, why not? You've got a very nice daily driver. Ah, I see. Well, I'm biased, so I'll say HSV. Gotta get your Holden special vehicles in there. Some vitamin H. Oh, Supra? Oh, I also saw a McLaren this year. Not this year, like this week. Unfortunately, we did not get a nice engine note out of it taking off at the lights. But once more, I saw it and I was like, you deserve better than to just drive around in suburban traffic. You deserve to be on the open road or on a racetrack or something. Not potting around in suburban Sydney. not entirely certain if I nailed the paint color for this one. I think we can all agree that the M stripes on are very nice. I don't know so much about the paint color though. I think I had like the right inspiration behind it. Just don't think the execution quite kind of followed through on it. Yay, an Acura NSX. Very cool. A festival unlock. Ford Mustang DD. A destroyer, perhaps. By the NATO designation, if I recall correctly. Unlimited off-road. Ooh, do I want to do unlimited off-road? Probably not. Let's have a look at a event lab while we consider our decisions. Let's jump in our Liberty Mustang. Birdie Mustang. Definitely feel like I've noticed a lot more vehicle pop in this time. Ooh! I don't think I ever remember. Oh, excuse me, chat. I don't think I ever remember hopping in a Liberty in a Horizon game before now. At least not like consciously going, you know what? I feel like I could go for a Liberty right about now. A Debert. A Debert. We should kind of bastardize the name and just put a lot of Dilbert on the side. That was Dilberty design. That would show those big wigs at Dilberty design who's boss. You failed the speed zone. How about that, game? Doesn't feel nice, does it? Maybe you think about being nicer next time.
When it is safe to do so.
An F-150 is just too big to my mind. I definitely feel like I'm leaning towards smaller vehicles as I get older.
In 400 meters, turn right.
Oh, well that came out of nowhere. Okay, she's a little scuffed up. But if you look at her from this angle, ish, it looks right as rain.
In 200 meters, turn left. In 400 meters,
The sheer off-road performance of a Liberty Mustang. Absolute burnout potential as well. What's good, Bronco? car? What car? Super van could be fun. Okay. That's pretty high praise. I think the BAC. This is definitely one of the more futuristic looking cars in the game. I know it's like quite old at this point, but it's still very futuristic. Yes, quite. The only thing I would like is a cockpit, like a fighter pilot class canopy thing. Canopy, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, like the Jet 2X. Oh, 2Z, sorry. I just kind of have a feel it would make the car a little better. I mean, it would make it more practical, obviously, because you wouldn't get wet, but... I mean, this car is clearly not for practicality. But I feel like it would also help the aerodynamics, too. But maybe it wouldn't help it that much. Compared to, like, the weight penalty it would induce. Yeah, that too. But you probably also need to wear a helmet, and maybe the race helmet wouldn't fit in the canopy. But I mean, just visually it looks like it should, but maybe you wouldn't be able to turn your head. I don't know. I'm sure the people at BAC probably know a little bit better than I do. At least I hope they do. If they don't know better than some guy who pretends to be a fox digitally on a streaming platform, then need to kind of reconsider their priorities. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Absolute gaming. I think I was only like 1 year younger than I am now when I discovered that Formula 1 drivers and the like can have like plastic film on their faceplates that they can just peel off to get rid of stuff that's run into their visors rather than having to wipe it. I'm pretty sure that was the case. I feel like I saw that. But just saying it out loud kind of makes me sound crazy. I'm almost certain I did see that. Did it? Also, I imagine, just thinking about it a bit more now, running into... It's like running into the rain droplets at 250 kilometers an hour, for example, would be probably incredibly painful. Yeah. Like, I imagine that you'll be wearing a race suit. You won't be like me in a t-shirt with robot arms, but even so, I feel like even through the padding of a race suit, it'd still be at the very least kind of annoying, even if it isn't like outright painful. We haven't had hail for a while now that I think about it. Not that I really wish that upon our city. Yes, exactly that. And Hammond and James to a lesser extent. It wasn't really until that episode that I realized just kind of how tall the Expo or Crossbow or however you pronounce it actually is. It's really quite a tall vehicle. Or at least visually it looks quite tall compared to something like the Caterham. Oh, really? Okay. Then again, a lot of those kind of, well, maybe not a lot, but the Clio V6, for example, also has an astonishingly bad turning circle. Hey, I'm doing burnouts on the spinny thingy. On the Lazy Susan up there. What a hero. I just put a brick on the throttle, made sure the handbrake was on, and just got out there and popped and locked it. Love it. We got the GR86 from 22. That was quite a nice race course, though. I did enjoy that. Cars. There's cars. Let's hop in the new whip.
Turn around.
Oh, we were going the right way.
To do so. 400 meters. Turn left.
This engine note leaves a little bit to be desired, doesn't it? I don't know what about it, but it just is not pleasant on the ears to me, in my mind. No, I was going to say it's... I don't know what to make of it. I think I definitely, for some reason, it's just the little thing of, I think I prefer how it looks as a Subaru for some reason. Even though it is basically the same car. Oh! That'll be fine. The original ones, I mean. It's interesting because I remember I think it was the designer for Subaru said that the original BRZ was quite dull looking, and they kind of missed an opportunity to basically swing for the fences a little bit more. But I mean, I wouldn't say this one's particularly ravishing. I feel like it's basically as banal as the other one. It's a previous iteration. Let's go this way just to avoid that bloom. Yeah, I was thinking the same. For some reason the interaction with the boot and the brake lights just does not do it for me, and I could not for the life of me tell you why that is.
400 meters. Turn left.
Oh, well that's what I get for not looking where I was going. I mean, that is kind of the Toyota GR these days, isn't it? It is kind of the modern MX-5 in that this is the car that people buy when they want to buy a sports car. Particularly if they're of the younger persuasion. Well, I've only heard good things about the GR Yaris, and apparently the GR Corolla is quite good too. I don't think that any Toyota has really, except for maybe cars like the GR80, not the GR86, the GR Yaris. No Toyota has really got my motor running in any major way. Like, I've definitely never had any kind of interest in the Supra, old or new. The GR86 is kind of fine, I guess. Oh, the only one that would kind of get my motor running would be the MR2.
You will arrive at your destination.
Particularly if the, oh, and the Celica, I guess, as well. There are a couple. The MR2, particularly from the later one from the early 2000s. Could hop in our NSX. Let's hop in our Ascari. That's a classic for these things. While that loads up, I'm going to run the 3 minutes of ads and get a drink. Oh, that loaded up very quickly. But ignore that. We're still getting the drink and the 3 minutes of ads. I will see you in 3 minutes, chat. All right, let's get back into it. Let's see what this one has to bring. Thanks for having me back, Shadow. I think one of the best maps we've had recently in my mind was that really foggy one, maybe a month ago or so. Because it just felt like an entirely different map. Like, because it was so foggy and at night, it just didn't, it wasn't recognizable. even though you were just driving around regular roads. So it was really quite clever in that way. Yes, that one. It just made it feel like a completely new world that you were driving around, which was, I thought, very clever. Yes, that too. It was just a well put together map. Very dense checkpoint placement in this one. Don't dislike it, just interesting. Oh, yes. Yeah, that was quite good too. This one is an interesting course, but for whatever reason the Ascari just feels quite, I don't know, heavy. This is normally one of my favourite kind of S1 cars. It almost feels like the brakes have been nerfed or something. I don't think anyone from the chat cut my brake lines, but it definitely feels like that could have happened. Maybe not like all of them, but just like the brake lines to one of the brakes, so it's not operating at full efficiency. Almost certainly not. And I'm wondering if I even adjusted the handling at all on this car, or this is one of the cars that I just haven't touched yet because I was never brave enough to have a look at the car tuning menu, really. Just relied on upgrades. Like before I streamed, I think the last time I really had a good look at the tuning menu was probably like in Horizon 2. I just didn't really give it the time of day, otherwise. Yeah, and I think this is one of those. Guess we'll have a look in a second and find out for ourselves. For some reason that reminded me the Gran Turismo movie is coming out soon. Which is a weird sentence to say. Definitely not something I expected to exist. Certainly not in like a Hollywood movie style thing. Maybe it's like a direct to DVD thing. Okay, so we definitely haven't played around with this. Let's get that real low, like. Let's turn up the braking pressure just as. We don't have a diff. Well, that is a weird choice. We might be understeering a little bit, actually. That too. Like, this and... what's the other one? This car and... never remember the name of it. This, the ATS. These are like my go-to S1 cars. Or they were, at least. But as we're learning, this one at least, and maybe the ATS as well, could be better. All fine choices. Nice, nice, and nice. Let's go to the Festivale and just get a diff on this bad boy.
200 meters. Turn sharp left. Turn sharp left.
Excuse me. Significantly faster than it was before, that's for sure.
You have arrived at your destination.
Give me a diff stat. I own it. Why didn't I have it installed? Why would I take it off? Maybe it was removed in one of the updates or something, perhaps? Dunno. Cars. Tune car. Oh, let's have a look at the tire pressure. Turn that down just a touch. I feel like deceleration. I guess that's under braking, right? But even so, I feel like that's very high. Huh. That's a lot of money. I thought I had a lot of, like, 39 million. Apparently I am a mere pauper. And while, yeah, I haven't bought a car in a long while. The closest I've come to spending credits on a car is when I physically spent money to buy the Lotus Emira in the latest car pack. I'm such a Lotus fanboy. Apparently. That's a big jump. Wow, it was a big jump. I always forget there is a maximum garage size. I must confess, I'm normally a long way away from it. Alright, let's check out the news. Yeah, what's good? Sell. Add that to the old war chest that I don't use. $40 million. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be pretty close to that many cars in the game, full stop, at this point. Now, what was the PI level of that Z4? I cannot recall. A800. Let's go for some street racing. A800. I do have some duplicates. I've just gotten more since I got rid of them earlier in the year, I think it was. Maybe late last year. Where are you, Z4? I knew I should have changed into you earlier. Next to the beer sponsor covered Monaro. Or VXR, actually. I think I did that. I think I sat at one stream, we did the weekly stuff, and then I just sat outside a barn, just gift. Oh nay! Come on. Oh, nice. Look, if we're gonna go for a jump, is this jump even gonna be here? Nope. What's the bet this was the last race? Maybe it's because it's the summer update and the street events are during the day, perhaps? I don't know. So I can't remember the last time I jumped into a street lobby, just full stop, but I feel like that would be during the day, like at night when I jumped in. I have, but I think it might be because it's on the online lobby, so they kind of remove that stuff. Like that big jump I did in the Ascari just before I loaded in. That jump is quite regularly not on the online lobbies because they seem to like remove that stuff. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. But that is definitely, that jump is, that I was going to go off of, is definitely there in single player. It must be just some sort of optimization thing. So they don't add it in just to save some RAM or something. Some bits and some bytes somewhere. I'd forgotten it was so, that one was quite hard, yes. I forgot about that. Thinking about this reminds me that I really do want to go back and have a look at Horizon 4. Because that jump just reminded me of the, remember the windmill archway jump? That one was always a little bit spicy because you'd be you know, trying to gun it across that field to get as much speed as possible, and then you'd have to, at the very last moment, nail lining up that archway so you didn't, you know, just crash and burn. Okay, a assorted selection. We've got a Ford F450. Didn't expect to see that in the lineup. Damn. This car's got some get up and go. Why are there so many Oreo branded things? It's the second Oreo branded vehicle I've seen today. And before today, I've seen none. Is there some sort of Oreo sponsorship going on? Is it Oreo Presents the summer update for Horizon 5? Pardon? It's an Oreo Zonda, like in real life? Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even realize that Oreo had such a relationship with Horizon until just now. I mean, I can't eat Oreos currently, just because they're not, you know, they're wheat-filled as opposed to wheatless. But I never particularly liked Oreos that much. They were fine, but they weren't the greatest. So... we did pretty not bad, actually. 4th place is pretty good. Same with that EOS 4GT that you could buy without that makeup? Pardon? Was it like a makeup tie-in with... Huh. I mean, I guess it takes all kinds, but I wouldn't have thought a makeup tie-in would have been my first promotional go-to for Horizon, but there you go. That's a lot of... you could carry so many Oreos in that car. Just think about how much Oreo you could have in the back of that car. Now, I did say that I didn't like Oreos, but Oreo McFlurries did go hard when I could have them. They were my preferred McFlurry flavor. Now it's M&M's, which is fine, but it's not Oreo. I don't know if you guys get it outside of Australia, but we have recently, like in the last couple of months, gotten chocolate soft serve at McDonald's. And that is a pretty choice upgrade. Yes, Crunchy McFlurries were really nice as well. We don't get them anymore. Down under, unfortunately. It's just, as far as I know, it's just M&M and Oreo. And if you're lucky, there'll be like a promotional one. Sometimes it's like Maltesers or some other thing. Can't remember what it was when I went in there recently. I'm also a little bit miffed that they don't... like, I definitely remember them stirring the McFlurries. with the plastic straw that was meant to mount on a device that spun around and actually stirred it up. If you get a Smartie McFlurry, oh, that would be so much more preferable. I definitely prefer Smarties to M&M's. It's just a nicer chocolate in my mind. There we go. Just had to put together all the stands and stuff. What stands, Jow? It's an underground event. Oh, almost a full house. There's the Oreo F50 for F450 again, Ferrari 440, an F355 Berlinetta. Real broad church of racing this event.
I'm on power, baby. I'm on power, baby.
It is a little bit emasculating, I guess is one way to put it, to see the F450 just scream ahead of you. I legitimately thought someone's horn was the Seinfeld zinger, you know, the boom 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 boop 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 thing. I legitimately thought that was someone's horn for a second there. And I could definitely get behind that as a horn. That'd be very funny. I mean, well done you, Dan Almighty, drifting around that corner like that. Okay, so I wasn't the only one. Alright, that's good to know. Like, I've never actually watched Seinfeld, and I don't particularly have any urge to do so. But I do, for whatever reason, find that kind of funny. Just in like a meme sense, I guess. Wow, you get a lot of flavors. Damn. Straight ahead. No, we've still got a third of the race left. We might be able to pull something off. Hopefully on the good sense of the word rather than the bad. In my mind, it's kind of like Friends in that I really couldn't care less about it. It's clearly got a huge cultural impact, but I'm also like, eh. I definitely have a lot more trouble with American comedy shows. I think English comedy shows, for the most part, align a little bit better with my Australian sense of humour. Probably also doesn't help that I was raised on a lot of like BBC programming, because that's what we had on the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. But like one of my favourite comedy sitcoms ever is The IT Crowd, for example. That's just fantastic. And I haven't seen as much of it, but like Father Ted was also fantastic too. I just find that American comedies are just a little bit too saccharine, you know? A little bit almost too, I don't know, genuine? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think how I would describe my dislike for it. Like, I've never liked even the idea of the Big Bang Theory, because it's not as good as the IT Crowd when it comes to laughing about nerd stuff, I don't think. Because it does feel a lot, I don't know, meaner, maybe? What other car can we break out in A-Class? Break out a lot of Ferraris. I think we do this one more time though. Yeah, particularly when it wasn't... I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't that funny to begin with. Like, supposedly it was filmed in front of a live studio audience, but the laughter just felt incredibly canned. Whereas the laughter in front from the IT crowd just felt a lot more genuine. Okay, interesting. I think it was also, I mean, from a purely outsider's viewpoint, it seemed that the Big Bang Theory was a lot more about laughing at the nerds, whereas the IT crowd was almost about laughing at the situations that the nerds found themselves in, rather than pointing and laughing at how the nerds themselves were nerdy. But even that, I don't think, is an entirely accurate description of the programming. Two and a Half Men. That doesn't make a lot of sense, though. It is incredibly similar to Two and a Half Men in that, you know, you've got your characters, and it's a... Well, what am I saying? It's a sitcom. It's the classic kind of couple of camera on a stage sitcom. So of course it's similar, yeah. Now, I would have enjoyed Two and a Half Men a lot more if every season they added another man. They ran a number generator between 1 and 0, and that was the amount of man that was added onto the show each season. So if it started at 2.5 men, but it could have ended up at 12 3/4 men by the last season. Now that is something I could have gotten behind. You know, the final season in series 30 or whatever, there's an entire platoon of people living in this house. There's 30 of them. There's like 7 kids. There's just, it's a complete and total disaster. There's not enough time for anyone to have a complete storyline. I think we may have just gotten the mirror there on that last bit. I don't know for sure. I think we may have just edged them out ever so slightly. Yes. Oh my goodness, look at that. 0.01 of a second. Gaming. That's what that was, chat. Gaming. You just had slightly longer legs than the mirror did. Good for you, champ. Custom racing? Oh yeah, that's what we are doing. It's just street racing, custom racing. Oh, full house. Corvette 53 FE, Mercedes-Benz A45. A fine vehicle with an astonishing 4-cylinder engine in it.
I'm on power, baby.
I honestly expected it to lurch to the front immediately. So this corner will probably hurt things. We are very lucky that the ghosting came off after that first corner. If it came off before, that would be rough. This is a good little car. Come on, drive straight, buddy. Full concentration to the max. Oh, this is the one where you need to be careful about this corner here. Because that happens. I remembered from last time. Where I did that. Would have the same fate of that Supra, just...
I'm on power, baby.
Bloody races again. Every morning, every night, it's racing, racing, racing. When do they bloody sleep? If I lived in Mexico at this time, I would just work from home. Ain't no way in hell you're gonna see me. Or I'd catch the train. But there ain't no way in hell you're gonna see me on the roads. Hey, we want to hang out at the shops. Let's go drive over there. Hell no. We can hang out on Minecraft, that's fine. You want to speak to me? Call me up. Oh, there's no room inside the cafe to sit down and eat? Tough. Then we're going somewhere else. I'm not sitting outside. You want me to sit outside where the street is? Are you serious? Do you want me to die? Oh, we're coming third in the championship. That is curious. So much drum and bass in the background. It's like those comedies or whatever, where you'd be sitting, you know, just sitting in a lovely Mexican street, distant mariachis in the background. I assume that's what Mexico's like. And you pick up your coffee, you know, and the sauce, and you go to take a drink, and at the same time, GR86 just flies through and annihilates the table, and you just kind of sip as if nothing's happening. And just place it down on your knee or whatever instead. I mean, it could be like that. Maybe Mexican society has adapted to having just street races with no accountability driving around. at all times. Like, if you removed it... You know, like how, there are some noises that you just, like, are really used to falling asleep to? Like the distant sound of traffic or something? And if you don't have that, it's harder to fall asleep? Maybe it'd be like that, except instead of distant traffic, it's like traffic right next to your window. Without the muffler or anything like that. Why do you want me to rewind, game? I'm not rewinding. They can rewind. Oh, hell yeah, that was a nice corner. I mean, compared to everyone else it was. Yeah, it's just turned into white noise. This is the noise of Mexico now. And if it wasn't a collective noise of like 1,600 cylinders firing off at all times, it'd just feel odd some way. Yeah, distant echoes of more power, baby. And just sickening metal on metal contact.
I'm on power with it.
Damn, that car's quick in a straight line, not so much in the corners. Oh my goodness, we're coming third. Let's not mess it up, Joe. Ah, I forgot about the sheep horn. I messed it up. Well, maybe not as badly as I thought I did. I just took a slightly more unusual racing line, I think we'll call it that way. I completely forgot about the sheep horn. That was everywhere in Horizon 4, wasn't it? Beep. Bollocks. Okay, I definitely messed that one up. I can't say that was a more unusual racing line. I don't remember the rubber duck one, actually. But again, I didn't really play much online, so... I probably don't have as much experience with the kind of community and their horn choices. Just...
I'm on power, baby.
Fourth is fine. Nice jump, though. If I hadn't messed up that final corner, I would have gotten third, I reckon. Ah, well. You live and you learn. I mean, a foxhorn would be weird, though. Because foxes, let's be honest, do sound kind of weird. Like, they're often described as, like... Yeah, I mean, their laugh is very cute. Because Vodo, who was in here previously, has a redeem in their chat that plays a fox laugh, which is quite cute. You take out the Cadillac again, that is very funny. Let's take out the Maserati Gran Turismo. I barely see that out. But then they also have a tendency to also sound kind of like a lady screaming at night. I don't think I've ever actually heard it myself, but I've definitely heard it described as that. Just because I don't really live in fox country. The pounce in the snow, in particular, is very, very adorable. Oh yes, there is a fox village. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of villages in Japan like that are somehow like themed around an animal. Because there's like the Cat Island or whatever in Japan as well, where there's just a whole mess of cats. Unsurprisingly, given the name. A Highland Climb. Which I think is the race we just did. Alright, let's see how much we can remember. Come on, Maserati, let's do Italy proud. Hey, not off to a great start for Italy. Yeah, that's partly why I was like, I should have a look at this car again. I remember being incredibly disappointed in it in Horizon 2, because it was incredibly slow revving, I found. It may have just been the way I had done it up, but it was really slow revving. Felt like it would take forever to actually accelerate. Oh, wise guy, huh? I've encountered Smegalator before. Were you in the trial with me? I mean, there can't be that many Smegalators. I saw your name tonight. Does my car just have hit me written on the side? No, it doesn't. Okay, so they're just jerks. Got it. We do need to take it to the tuning shop, though, because this has definitely had no work done on it. And I could do with a little bit more kind of TLC in the tuning shop. I mean, all of them are pretty full contact for whatever reason. I don't know why it's a free-for-all. Full contact racing, but apparently it is. Yep. So it seems that it's a whole lobby of arse clowns. I mean, it's also not like they need to. They are clearly at least a little bit faster than me. There is quite literally no need for them to be beating me up. Gee, sure is embarrassing that I'm now in third place, huh, guys? Yeah, small blessings, right? That might be because we're A-class and maybe... I can't remember, but maybe it's not an A-class car? More of an S1? I feel like that was different, though. Only because it was kind of... like, you could kind of understand what was going on. It wasn't just like, I want to win this race. It was more, I'm going to pursue you. There was RP. It wasn't me want to win. Only way me win is by murdering you. I mean, if you want to fight me, put on some... do what that guy did, put on some blues and twos and take me out. But if you're not going to do that, then don't run into me. No, I don't think it was me, actually. Or at least I can't remember that if that was the case. I feel like that would stand out. Who's that exceptionally good driver on the left there in the Maserati? Your boy. I would be interested to have them have the MC20 make an appearance in the game as well. Thinking about Maserati. That does look like a very attractive car to my mind. The MC20. I imagine it won't be in next month's update because that seems to be more of the. I wouldn't be surprised. But it won't be next month because that seems to be the other Stellantis brands. Which I'll be interested to see the next update, review, announcement, whatever you call it, dev blog, just to see what cars are actually going to make an appearance. I feel like you've mentioned this before, but it was like a really obscure one. What is it again? Huh. Okay. Not sure why that is. Ah, it was an M8 up front. Okay, interesting. Lots of 86s. Bugatti T35. A Hoonigan Cozzy. Got a whole gamut of cars on here.
I'm on power, baby. I'm on.
Ooh, bollocks. Overclipped that corner a little bit. Yeah, the 86 with the wide body does look nice. I think what we'll do once this race is done, we'll go to the garage, try and have a look at this car, and then come back online with it and see how much better it is. I mean, it's definitely a GT car, right? Definitely a Grand Tourer. You would not confuse it for a race car or something. Oh, the skyline hit something. Good news for us. I always seem to hope that the Bentley hit something. But I don't think that's going to happen the next 3%. Nope, that's okay. Third place is quite nice. Yeah, I've never really particularly liked the Forza editions, to be honest. They're fine. But it's just, I don't know, I feel like part of the fun in the game for me is making the car into my own Forza edition, you know? Yeah, they definitely got a little bit overconfident there in that last corner. Well, yeah, last 90-degree corner. Yeah, the Jow edition. I mean, I feel like that's what the game is about. Same as like Need for Speed or whatever. You're not about the Need for Speed edition. You're about making the Jow edition, or the Shadow edition, or the Wolf edition, or the Zav edition. Like, It's about what you do with the car, not about what they think is best to do with the car. Like, they're useful. The X5 Forza Edition is a fantastic car if you can get it early on in the game, just to, like, get some, you know, early speed traps and stuff like that. And it's incredibly quick. But, again, it's... I don't know. Maybe it's because I feel like it's slightly cheating, perhaps? Not making it yourself? I don't know. Ooh, a Ford GT40. A classic car. Luckily we are behind the Bentley, which is nice. And I think doing it yourself kind of helps you almost appreciate what it takes to do it. And what you look for in a car, so you can do it, you know, for other cars that don't have a Forza Edition, like the Nissan Skyline in front of us. You can learn to appreciate that you like... Okay, I should probably watch the road. You feel that you need brakes more than you do acceleration, or vice versa for your racing style. Bold strategy. Bold strategy running right into that car. But sometimes you gotta think outside the box. It just doesn't work all the time, that's all. Yeah, pretty good night for online, all things considered. Ooh, just got around them. Like, we've been placing pretty well.
I'm on power, baby.
Ah, bruh. Got pushed right into me. Don't mind if I do take that position. Smegalator is somehow the Bentley, our nemesis, if you will, is somehow in last place. Big oof. Not going to complain too much. Yeah, they were really early on the brakes. I was surprised. I expected them to be later just because they had that enormous rear wing on them. Apparently not. I think it's because they were really off the racing line, whereas I wasn't, so I could really kiss that apex nicely and carry the speed through. I'm just going to run an ad break, because we need to shortly, and get to a garage. Chat. That'll be the immediate plan. We'll try and... well, yeah, I think that's the right term. We'll try and fix this Maserati GTS. We'll make it just a little bit better. Still, second place overall is not bad. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe they put it all... but even then, they weren't that quick, though. So I don't think they put it all into power, or if they did, they put it into power badly somehow. Maybe they put nothing into brakes. So it's all on handling, but they can't slow down to actually take the corner. Oh, that's convenient. We're pretty close to one. Hey guys, I've got whiplash. Alright, so a diff is obviously one of the first things we can do. I don't really know what else we can do, to be honest. We don't really have that much in the way of a budget. We could do that. It does reduce our speed a little bit, but it does significantly increase our launch. That might be worthwhile. What tires do we have on here? I think we've got... No, we've got semi-slicks, okay. We want to keep that. We want to keep carbons, obviously. Spoiler doesn't really do a huge amount in terms of handling and what have you. I think that's basically all we can do. We'll install the diff, but a slightly better launch. Now we just jump into the tuning menu and see what we can do with that. Yeah, there's a point. I didn't think about that, but you're alright there. Will do. Get that turn in on. Get those springs right down low. What else? That. We can almost definitely turn down the pressure in the tires. We will try and turn up the caster a little bit. Yeah, let's try this out. Let's go for a little tour around the place.
I'm on power.
The top end on this is 335. No, 337. So it's not astonishingly quick by any stretch. Are we understeering? Yes, I think we are. Just a little bit. Take it up to 30.5. Come on. Up we get. Ugh. Every time I say the 4, which I assume is 4.7, the 4 and the 7 on the back of the car's bumper there, I think of Agent 47 for some reason. I'm just an assassin with my kind of like vanity plate on the back. Yeah, you're not wrong, actually. Again, I've always got a kind of a soft spot for unusual engines. I think that's partly why I like the 5-cylinder type so much, because it's kind of a bit out of left field. Where most engines are even numbers, this one's like, no, we're going to actually go for an odd number here. Clearly does the job, right? You could do worse than giving me a Gran Turismo, that's for sure. Oh, listen to that popping. Really? That is a nice touch. But is it... I don't know if you know this, but is it more common to do that like in real life? To change the engine of your truck? Than it is to change the engine of your car? Or is it just a neat feature? Alright, I think we've done a nice job on that. Let's go back to the streets. A lot of people swap out older truck engines or swap in older truck engines. Really? I wouldn't... There you go. I wouldn't have expected them to be all straight sixes. Or more commonly straight sixes. I don't know what engine variety I would have thought, but... Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I guess I would have thought there'd be a lot more V-class engines, just because they'd be... And you've got a bad hairline there, guy. Underneath the speedo? That's rough. Yeah, okay. I just would have thought that like V engines would have been a bit more compact for the amount of cylinders they had. Which I would have thought, particularly in a European truck layout where you're on top of the engine, as opposed to the American one, would be sought after. Damn, that's a lot of liters. Then again, those bad boys must have just apocalyptic amounts of torque. Like, I'm gonna move this entire nation to a better time zone torque. Yeah, that too. I mean, on the note that I was making of kind of compactness, I'm kind of surprised there aren't like flat engines. I guess there is the increased complexity of having multiple camshaft rails and stuff like that, but I would have thought, again, you could have like made the whole unit a bit more compact by having a flatter, less tall engine. But maybe I'm off my face. Clearly they know what they're doing. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have. I've only been designing truck engines for the last 10 minutes, so... Yeah. I mean, now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever heard of a supercharged diesel. Except for maybe a Freelander, I think may have been a supercharged diesel. And probably some Mercedes diesel had a compressor on it, but 9 times out of 10, or actually probably closer to 9.9 times out of 10, they're turbocharged. sure that's exactly why they've got the straight pipes, just for the sweet noise. See, just this jump's been removed now. For some reason they take some of the jumps out online. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I've heard. Is it Cummins? I think it's Cummins that gives like special plaques or something to engines that have done over X number of miles. I think. I might be wrong on that. I think Toyota also gives out plaques for that kind of thing. Not so much for the motors, but for the vehicles themselves. I think we found the Oreo F450 again. Yeah, I mean, in terms of reliability, it's hard to go wrong with the Toyota, right? Yeah, we are definitely quicker off the line. Maybe it's not that, the Oreo 450, it's a different one? I wouldn't have expected that many 450s online, but here we are. Whoa! Hey! Samesies, huh? That was a experience. Yeah, I remember, I think it was Top Gear talking about when, I don't know, the Corolla or something first turned up in England, and how on a cold day, everyone in the street would just be, you know, trying to get their British Leyland to turn over. And if you had a Toyota, you just turn the key and you're off to work. That was just something so new. Kind of wild how much we take that for granted these days. Just sticking the key in the ignition and having it start basically immediately. But that has not always been the case. And for a lot of the time that was the expectation, not the kind of aberration. Oh, he can run into me, but I can't run into him. Fine. We'll just fight each other up there, that's fine. Well, that was a carburetor thing, am I right? Wow, you both crashed. Yeah, yeah. I've only been in one car ever that's had a... I think I have. That's actually had a choke. My cousin's old Triumph. Four-door Triumph. Had a carburetor. And a clock from West Germany. As well as wood finish so wooden that you could probably get splinters off it if you tried hard enough. And if I remember correctly, you wouldn't have to try that hard to get the splinters. My uncle, that guy's dad, has a real thing for Triumphs. I think he owns a Triumph Stag of some description. Or he used to, at least. And I'm pretty sure he still does. Let's get that mass out of there. Yeah, you're telling me. You're telling me. And a Triumph Stag. Was that something they did? Slap a Buick V8 in the Triumph? There you go, interesting. Well, the Americans did know how to make power, even if they were a bit heavy. So it is sensible. Ah, yes. No, I've heard of that engine. Well, it's probably in a significantly tighter engine bay, if nothing else, than what it was used to. Being in a, you know, comparatively tiny English sports car to the American Buick muscle car that was its home to begin with, I imagine. Castillo de Mar. Okay, the SL65 is still here, unfortunately. The Infiniti Q60. Yeah, I've heard that. They had real issues with that kind of stuff.
I'm on power, baby.
Bruv! I guess that's why you take the F450. Yeah, for some reason, British Leyland died basically because of, you know, reliability and stuff like that. But Alfa Romeo seems to still be alive and well. And that's basically just as bad. And it's only recently gotten better. No, the strikes probably didn't help either. Then again, clearly corporate wasn't doing something properly if they kept striking all the time. In terms of wages and what have you. Yeah, I've only heard good things about that Rover engine. Wheel! Surprise wheel! Wow, that M503 is really... Well, it is 40 PI points lower than the rest of us, so that probably makes a bit of sense then. I was going to say, they're really having a rough time of it. Banana yellow, wow. That is a bold choice. Yeah, I mean, we used to be a real country, right? Back in the day when it wasn't just black, white, and grey for the cars as like the standard paint colours. I'm gonna do a full set with this car. But I think it's actually not bad. I mean, brown is the epitome of 70s color. It's hard to get more 70s than brown. Except for maybe shag pile carpet. That's probably... like, brown shag pile carpet is probably the most 70s thing you could possibly imagine. That maybe with bell-bottom, high-waisted jeans. Ah, yes, I do vaguely remember that. I think I've seen that somewhere. There just used to be a lot more color in cars, and that died a death, unfortunately. Velour. Yes. Gotta have the velour. Quite a lot of Lotus, 2 Lotuses. Ferrari 360 CS with 27 less. We made it. Now we just have to make sure we don't roll the car like we did last time. That was embarrassing. You forget how small the land is until you're like right next to it. And then it's like, this is actually tiny. And it's partly because it's a car from the 70s, right? But still. X Class. Wow, traffic jam, huh? Everyone's on the road all of a sudden. I guess this is maybe the only time when the official races end in Mexico. Everyone can finally do, like, commutes and stuff. Little did they know there's illegal street races as well, though. I didn't mind the Europa, I mean... It's no Emira. The Emira is an incredibly attractive car in my mind, but it's not unattractive. Well, then again, I haven't looked at it for a while. Because the Elise and the Exige don't exactly look as either. The older kind of 2000s stable of Lotus is kind of a little bit underwhelming visually. Maybe they didn't think it was iconic enough. Lotus reckoned that this was the one and only, the one true Elise. Elan, sorry. Second place. Whew. I don't think so. I think that was only in Horizon 4 with the James Bond pack, right? I think I'm right in saying that. I'll have a check once we get out of this. Thank you for the shout out, Sergeant. My money's a no. Poor network conditions. Oh no. Ay caramba. Anything but poor network conditions. Wow, you really don't appreciate how dark a road this is until you're the one in front. I think we've tuned ourselves a very nice car here, chat. A little bit of tweaking here and there, pushing a slider that way, pushing a slider this way. Making sure I had a diff. This is also a really dark night for some reason. Or maybe it's because it's just before dawn, maybe that's why. Look how dark it is here. You love to see it. You love to see a W. Way to go, superstar. Have you started, I remember you were saying that you were very keen on having a look at the DLC. Have you started having a look at that, out of curiosity? How is it? Is it everything you dreamed it would be? Okay. I heard mixed things about the base game. Like, I think people on balance liked it, but there were a few reservations here and there, I think. Yeah, I think that would definitely be better than... It did seem that the base game was a lot more kind of meandering. This is going to be a little bit more challenging, seeing as we're closer to the back this time. Got an F450 in the way. Yes, that's right, I remember that now. It was quite buggy when it launched, wasn't it? unfortunately, it's just the state of games these days. And while ideally you'll have companies like, you know, CD Projekt Red or the like, that'll really work to try and fix the game, it's still A, launch buggy, and B, that's not always the case. Not every game dev is as interested in fixing the game. Well, game dev company. Like, no one wants to launch a bad game. It's almost certainly because someone said, we're launching it now. And they said, okay, this is busted as hell, but you're the boss. The only games I've ever pre-ordered are Horizon games. I feel like a day one HOTS fix is, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's more acceptable in that it, on day one, it is playable even if it is a large download. It's games like, you know, Cyberpunk 2077, that when they came out were just busted. Ah, bollocks. Oh well. We did well last race, at least. Okay, that was lucky that Honda S2000 crashed. I mean, that's really good quality then, to be able to have that quicker turnaround. That Ferrari 360 CS was pretty good given its handicap. If we hadn't crashed there, we would have come first in the championship, I think. That is definitely one of the best parts of PC gaming, the mod scene, right? Particularly when you've got devs like that are encouraging of it. And I think it's often those kind of AA devs and publishers, like the Truck Simulator people, like Paradox Interactive, where they're very much like, please mod our game. It'll add to our sales. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of those games, a lot of those games were doing it beforehand, but I feel like the mod scene really, I think a lot of companies really had their eyes open when things like DayZ just blew up and suddenly became a game seller for Arma 2. To the point where they had stickers on the packets saying, this is what you need to play DayZ, buy this game. Like, the fact that they were selling the game because of a mod, I think, would really have caused people to kind of step back and go, huh. Okay then. I mean, of course, say what you will about DayZ, but it moved copies for Bohemian Interactive. We're almost certainly not going to do super well. Because we haven't done any tuning on this one again. I didn't even notice that. I don't know what I was doing actually. I think I was staring into the abyss.
I'm on power, baby.
So the top speed leaves a little bit to the desired, but the handling seems to be 5 stars. Gosh darn it. I do too. I principally love it just for those exhaust pipes. I think those are really cool. Those exhaust pipes that stick out left and right. Also, just the shape of the car is cool. Those kind of weird spikes on the front and stuff. Well, gashes? I don't know what you call them. Cuts? Like, you reckon it should be a V8 in real life, or...? I mean, I can see that. I feel like there is a V8 energy that the TVR nameplate does kind of exude. Oopsie daisy. Paul Walker had a crash. Another one. Well, I guess, was the Cigaris meant to be like the Cayman to the Tuscan's 911? Hey, we all got across the line. Bringing that straight 6 energy. The first time I ever encountered a TVR, like in any media, at least knowingly, was Looney Tunes Back in Action. Dalton, who plays a secret agent in that film, and Brendan Fraser's dad, obviously, drives a TVR Tuscan. That's his Bond car, a TVR Tuscan. And I was like, damn, it's a cool looking car. I'd never seen anything like it before. That would do it. Like, I may have encountered them in games like V8 Supercars or whatever, but I don't know if I like noticed it. It wasn't until I think I asked my mum what car it was. She, you know, read the nameplate or whatever. Oh, okay. Got some muscle cars in this one, huh? I just like the TVR's kind of wacky, I guess, design sensibilities. Like having these exhaust pipes sticking out at perpendicular to how they normally would at the back. I think this one, doesn't this one also have like a glass spoiler at the back of it? In its more stock form? Well, that went super well, didn't it, Jow? Really knocked it out of the park with that one, huh? Yeah, just those kind of weird things like that, where it's like, this is different. Not inherently bad, just unusual. And, by extension, unique. Like, I feel once you know what a TVR is, you can't really confuse a TVR for anything else. Like, well, the Tuscan and this one to a slightly lesser extent I'm into play in like the same league as things like the Aston Martin Vantage or what have you. Definitely wouldn't confuse them for an Aston Martin. Oh, I mean, almost certainly. It would be interesting to know what the that was bloody close, Joe. What people saw in them that bought them. Like why people bought these as opposed to, I don't know, a 911 or whatever. Yeah, I've heard that they were very much kind of parts of everything that they could just get their hands on. Which I guess is an easier way to kind of put together a car, just take parts of cars that you like, put them together. Well done to Highcar for coming third. I think I might do the same again as I did with the Maserati. Fix this car up and then see if it makes it better. Because I don't think I've done any tuning to this car either. In terms of wheel alignments and tyre pressures and what have you. I think you're right. I think there is an element of almost hipsterness to it. Yes. They're very... I guess like I said before, they're very TVR. You could not confuse it for another car. Forgotten about that paint color. Shame the Tuscan isn't in this game, I don't think. I say that with increasingly less confidence. I don't think it is. Oh, it is. Okay, well, I'll have to look at that too at some point. Like, I had a vague memory it was, so I guess I was simultaneously wrong and right. It was an exciting position to be in there. See ya! That guy's just taking a long walk off a short cliff. Whoa! Got launched upwards, vertically for some reason. I guess when you think about it, the kind of part spin approach to a TVR is very, very modern if you look at things like Aston Martin these days, which are almost half Mercedes parts at this point. Well, if it's in the car pass, I'll have it anyway, because I didn't buy the game because of the game pass, but I did buy the expansion pass with that instead. Watch out, snowboarding. What's the bet? He likes snowboarding and was born in 93. That's why it's called Snowboarding 93. I have never been snowboarding, let alone skiing. I don't know if there's a huge amount of interest in it for me. In that you're just kind of going downhill, you know? And then you gotta trudge back up to the top and then do it again. But maybe I'm being reductionist. I would like to go like tobogganing or something like that. That seems like just great childlike fun. Having a snowball fight would be nice. I don't know if I've done that before, actually. I think the one time that I was in a situation where I could have done that, it was just too cold for my Australian body. So I was like, nah, I'm getting inside, actually. Inside's better. Alright, let's go back to the garage. Oh, this was X Tricky. That's another game. I remember distinctly. I think it was playing that at the friend I was talking about previously with the Xbox's house, because their sister was having a party. And as what happened back in the day, when your sibling had a party, you often invited a friend over to keep you company. And that was me. There was also one on, I don't know if it was Cool Borders, but what was the one on like Nintendo 64, I want to say? Was that Cool Borders? I feel like whatever it was, I played a fair bit of that on an emulator on my school laptop back in the day. I don't know why. I honestly can't. It was kind of more anime cartoony in its styling. It definitely wasn't kind of like a real world approximation of snowboarding.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
I don't know. I mean, It's possible that I would remember if you mentioned it, but it's been so long since I've touched the game, I don't even know if that would be the case. Maybe it was Snowball Kids, maybe it was that. That sounds slightly more possible.
Turn left.
That was, yeah, that's the weird thing I've always found weird about TVRs, how it's just got a standard kind of Panasonic head unit in here. Nothing inherently wrong with that, but just when you've got such stylized switchgear in here, it just seems so weird. Ah, the classic Kenwoods. I mean, I definitely count myself lucky that I've got Bluetooth in my car.
Destination.
For the massive woofers. TTR. Griffin, Canberra 12. Auto show. TVR. Ah, that's alright. The Griffith is a very cool car, though. That is another club banger. Oh. I think I need to probably install a differential on this car first. Because I probably didn't do that. Oh, my life. I did. Well done, me. Past me just had his head screwed on. That's what I've always liked about Past me. Okay. Why is it going so far off the edge of the map there, huh? Really? Wow. All of our car manufacturing was down in South Australia. So way away. From your boy. Whatever reason, South Australia had a lot of manufacturing. And they still do, really. They've got all the shipyards and stuff still. Where in theory all those AUKUS submarines that were going to be built. I think. I don't think we're buying them from one of you guys, England or America. I think we're being stubborn and making them ourselves. Ooh, nice. Pebble Beach or Sand Beach? Sand, oh, even nicer. Not always a guarantee in England. A bit of dubstep in here. That's a word I haven't thought of in a long while. Dubstep? Jeez, very 2012s of me to think about dubstep. crazy that it used to be the hotness. Let's check out what's being built along the waterfront. Nice bridge. Always a little bit of a sucker for a cable stayed bridge. Try and turn down the anti-roll just a touch. I think we're oversteering a little bit. Thank you, Sergeant. Let's do one last championship. Let's do road. A-class. Oh, nice. Very cool. Custom racing. Current car, Cigaris. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna throw in an ad while we wait for that because they're gonna come on in 3 minutes' time. Yeah, well, they seemingly significantly faster in the straight.
I'm on power of it.
Oh, lovely. Sounds like a great way to spend a road trip. No, I have. I was going to say, I don't think I've seen a squirrel in real life, but I think I have in, like, New York or DC when we went to the States. There's, I guess the equivalent to that would be one of my friends at a McDonald's near us. There are a lot of cockatoos, the white birds with a yellow crest on top. And they can be really quite cheeky and similar to a squirrel in the sense that they will kind of seek out food. So as my friend was kind of getting on his motorcycle to head on home and kind of putting the food he'd acquired in his bag, the cockatoos were just kind of walking over like, hey, surely you can't eat all of that, buddy. Maybe you could give some of that to one of us, huh? But I don't think I've seen a red squirrel. I think that was just what your more boring kind of grey and brown ones. Yeah, they're not too dissimilar. They're not as aggressive. They're just more cheeky, I guess. They're not gonna... They will kind of, you know, they are like seagulls in that they'll kind of surround you or whatever. But I wouldn't describe them as aggressive. Yeah. Hey, we're here if you feel like you've maybe got too many chips. We'd be happy to take them off your hand. I don't like kookaburras who famously will swoop in if you're at a national park having a sausage sizzle. Will swoop in and steal the sausage right out of the bread in your hand. I think that change in gearing may have affected the top speed of this a bit more than I thought it did. I mean, it is quite impressive though. It's going to be a rough one for some reason. We were doing quite well before. I probably shouldn't have edited the car, apparently. Yeah, or even worse, they like will steal your purse or your glasses or whatever. The perils of being a one-man team, right, displayed right here. I'm sure they've got a very convenient way to scam viewers and followers and all that kind of stuff. But I prefer if you didn't advertise on my channel. I've been streaming for like over a year to a pretty intimate and exclusive range of people. Like, if I wanted to do this, I would have done it already. And done. I think he did. If you do exclamation follow age, I think you'll be able to tell how long it has been. I think that's a command I've got set up. I honestly can't remember though. It feels like an eternity ago that I started streaming. And I don't know why that is. There you go. Because my first stream was in June of last year. Okay, wow. 1 year, 1 month, and 2 days. We just got lucky with the people I was paired against last time, but the Cigaris is really not doing quite as well as she was last time. Well, thanks for being here for that long, Shadow. I do appreciate it. It's been a pleasure having you for that long. Well, there you go. It's even more of an honor to have you then. Buddy. Yeah, it wasn't quite the reaction I was hoping for there. I was hoping for something along the lines of sorry or... yeah, it was. I think so. It's the same car at least. I thought we were runway bros, bro. Runway bros for life, right? No one respects the code of the runway anymore. Code of sportsmanship. Code of honor. Okay. I'm probably gonna call it there, chat. This will be the last championship, I reckon. Yeah, right? Also, just thinking about it, Wreckfest as a battle royale, like the game Wreckfest as a battle royale, would be quite interesting. I know that's an entirely out of left field thought, but you know, welcome on into the stream. All right, chat, we are going to raid out. Thank you very much for joining me. Please stick around for the raid. We are going to raid Kusaki Desu, who's currently playing through the Five Nights at Freddy's DLC, I believe. I will see you tomorrow night, where we will finish off Need for Speed Unbound, and then most likely have a look at the car mechanic sidequel, I guess, off-road mechanic. There's a demo out for that, and yeah, I thought I might as well have a look at it, you know? So until then, have a good rest of your Friday and or start of your Saturday. I will see you Saturday night. Let's go say hi to Kusaki. Cheerio.